So there are hypocrites all over the place in the wake of Donald Trump's summit with North Korea. Let's take a look at what Sean Hannity's position is now, juxtaposed with what he said when Obama did something very similar with Cuba and with Iran.
I think that the president deserves a lot of credit for being willing to talk to somebody that everybody thought would be a bad idea. Now, is it just me, or does it look like President Obama is more willing to give his time to our enemies than our allies? I see a lot of parallels between President Trump and Ronald Reagan.
Barack Obama, catering to the world's dictators, is literally the Neville Chamberlain of our time.
Certainly, there's no downside to what's happened here at all, only a win on every side as far as I'm concerned.
It's not wise. It's not in our best interest. We're dealing with the world's worst dictators, and we're showing a lot of weakness.
That was supposed to say weakness. We're showing a lot of weakness. Sean Hannity is either the world's biggest hack, or he is the dumbest person in the world. Or it might be both. It's probably both. But with him, I've never seen such rank hypocrisy in my life. And just for the record, he did the exact same thing on the issue of NSA spying. When George W. Bush did NSA spying, he spoke about it as if it is a 100% necessary move in order to combat terrorism and in order to keep our country safe. That's exactly how he framed it. Under Barack Obama doing the same thing, he flipped and he was all about, this is a clear violation of the Fourth Amendment and our right to privacy. And if you want to do some sort of spying, get a goddamn warrant. We can't have this blanket collection of metadata. Now, that position is the correct position. But unlike him, I had that position under George W. Bush, and I had that position under Obama. With him, when a Republican president does something, it is by definition awesome and correct. When a Democratic president does something, it is by definition wrong and terrible and dangerous and evil. So, I mean, there's not much to say about this because it's right in front of your face how much of a disgusting hypocrite he is. So just know that you can't take Sean Hannity seriously. He's not a serious person. He's a joke of a human being. He's a clown. He's a partisan hack. He has no true principles. He has no core beliefs. He has no coherent, consistent philosophy. He doesn't care about logic. So his whole shtick is, I will always defend the Republicans no matter what. I will always attack the Democrats no matter what. And even when you talk about a very similar circumstance, it's just, I don't care. The Democrat is wrong. The Republican is right. And unfortunately, man, listen, we've been seeing this. It's not just the Republicans who are utter hypocrites. The idea that the Republicans are now in favor of diplomacy and negotiations and peace deals, and they're not in favor of war. Are you fucking kidding me? We're bombing 8 countries right now. If you're in favor of peace, extend that ideology to Iraq. Extend that ideology to Afghanistan. Extend that ideology to Syria. Extend that ideology to Pakistan and Yemen and Somalia and all the countries we're fucking bombing right this second. But no, by the way, as they just ripped up a peace deal with Iran, now they're ripping up, they're potentially starting to get one with North Korea. So there's no consistency. Let's just be clear about that. Now, there's slight differences between Iran and North Korea. North Korea already has a nuke. Iran never had a nuke. There are slight differences, no doubt about it. But still, the fundamental underlying principle is not the same. One is fuck peace. The other one is maybe peace. And Sean Hannity just shows he'll go wherever Trump wants him to go. Tariffs is another great example of this, where under Bush and under other Republican presidents, Sean Hannity was the biggest free trade guy in the world. He loved outsourcing. That's what he loved. Under Trump, now Trump is implementing tariffs. All of a sudden, tariffs and protectionism are awesome in the eyes of Sean Hannity. He's just a hack. He's just a hack. And Maddow's just as bad on the other side. We just covered a segment earlier where Maddow was 100% in favor of the neocon orthodoxy of, we have to do offensive war games on North Korea's border because that's what we do. That's just what we do. Even though it's a fucking clear, direct threat, even though it's provocative, even though it's dangerous, even though that could accidentally lead to some sort of hot war, it's what we do. So Trump maybe stopping that is the worst thing in the world. And now I, Rachel Maddow, am a neocon for neocon policies. So there's hypocrisy all over the place. But this really exposes the hacks, guys. I mean, this example of what's been going on recently, in such a clear way, it shows you who's serious and who's not.